going on, world? It's your man Pat Seas of Seasallauto LLC, mobile mechanic and roadside services. And today, man, I'm on the side of the road in that borderline of Highlands County and Polk County. And I wanted to make a quick video to let you guys know the 5 things that I wish I would have known before starting the tow truck service. And we're gonna get into it right after the intro. So if you haven't already, thank y'all for stopping by the channel. Go ahead and give me a big like for the YouTube algorithm. Really appreciate that. If you don't know, I'm Patrick Seasall LLC, mobile mechanic and roadside services. We're talking about business, mechanics, finances, and of course towing. So there was a lot of things that happened before I got into this tow game. If you've been watching the channel, you've been watching the steady progression and growth, and you know that I'm still doing my mobile mechanic services, and that's what led up to the tow truck thing. And there's about 5 things that I wanted to let you guys know that I wish somebody told me before I got into the game. If you stay until the end, watch the whole video till the end, I got an extra few tips that I'm gonna throw out there for free, the free 99 knowledge. So go ahead and let's get into it. Now, first and foremost, I wish somebody had told me that it was very expensive to get into this game and it was very expensive to maintain it. What do I mean? Well, like I told you guys time and time again, I pay about $13.50 a month just for my insurance. You know, so essentially every time I crank this truck up, it costs me money. If it sits and it doesn't crank up, it still costs me money. So when somebody says, man, can I get a tow for like 20 bucks, it's just across the street, I would love to, but I really cannot do it because it literally costs me more than that just to crank up the truck every single time I crank up the truck. Number 2, you should be 1000% clear on your goals and your overall projection of growth while you're gonna be in this industry. So I didn't think I was gonna be doing exactly what I'm doing now. Like you guys see, I got the shop. I had no idea I was gonna get a shop. It would have made more sense if I got a yard, like an impound lot, so I could have a place to run my truck. And then in my quest for trucks, I ended up buying a dually instead of buying a snatch truck, which is what I really wanted to be driving in the first place. So if I had my mind kind of made up on exactly the growth projection of where I wanted to go, then it would have made it a lot easier for me right now to grow or scale to the level in which I want to be at. So I can still do it, it's not a problem, but I've basically spent money unwisely trying to get to what I know now, and I didn't have to spend the money. I should have just took a minute, stepped back, and like projected a path in which I wanted to go, and seeing how the market was working and how it was going, it would have helped make things a lot easier and cost me like tens of thousands of dollars less over the course of the last 2 years. Number 3, old trucks don't really like to work that hard very fast. So I didn't know that. I knew that a 7.3 was a great motor, but I forgot that there was variations to this motor. So you have like what I have, the IDI, which is indirect injection, is non-turbo, is super slow. It will pull, but it struggles to get out of its own ways. Henceforth, it's like a dog. And this truck is born in the same year as me. Right now, you guys probably can't tell, but I've been limping a lot. My left ankle, somehow I rolled it just kind of walking. I'm not sure how that happens, but it happens with age. And now I'm kind of like gimping around, and kind of like my truck, for instance. It would have been nice to have like a younger version of myself doing this job essentially. So I'm still making it happen, and I can do this until my old age, and the truck can too, but it takes a lot more effort for it to do what it wants or what you want it to do as it gets older. It costs a lot more in repairs, and the worst part I think about it is sometimes I can't even find the parts. So essentially I'm probably going to end up having to buy another truck just to keep this one running because I can't find parts anymore. And that's kind of the thing about buying an old truck. And when it does work, like I say, it works really good, but it takes a lot of energy to get this thing going. She's an old girl, but she does her job, but she's old. Numero 4. I wish somebody told me that it would be safe, a safe number to say about having $10,000 to $15,000 in the bank. A perfect example is with this whole world sickness that we have going on, quote unquote, right now. When the market stopped, I still had to pay insurance. So for like 4 months, that was almost Yeah, I paid over $5,000 in insurance for a truck that didn't even move. And then when I did get a call, it was like a $50 to $100 call. That was substantially less than what I was used to making. And had I not had the money saved up, it would have, you know, I would have had to just give the truck out or give, you know, park it. The problem with that is I thought about canceling out the insurance and just saying I'm just gonna park the truck, do my mobile mechanic service. But like I said, it costs like 7 to 10 grand just to get a policy to begin with. So it was either I use the money I got now to keep the insurance going, even though I don't drive the truck that much, or I cancel it out, and when things turn around, then I'll go ahead and pay then. The problem with that thought is that had I canceled it out when the phone started ringing again, I wouldn't have been able to take advantage of the opportunities that was coming. So you have to have that certain sense of opportunity meeting preparation. So with that, I would say it's safe to say, man, if you can save up before getting into it, $10,000 to $15,000 off rip. That's not including buying the truck. That's not including anything you're gonna have to fix. That's not including even getting insurance on it. I'm saying having that on the side, because just like that, it will go away. I went from having like 13,000 to like having 1,000 because of insurance and then maintenance things, and just everything adds up so quick that if you don't have that money, you can find yourself very fastly underwater. I think most people know it, but I feel it's safe to say right now, number 5, motor clubs are not your friend. So I just talked to a guy on Facebook last night, and I'm in a lot of motor club, or not motor club, I'm in a lot of towing clubs, and we're talking about pricing, we're talking about, you know, the market and all this stuff. And I was thrown off because I asked the guy, something came up about lockouts, and he was like, yeah, I get like 25 bucks. And I'm like, oh, let me guess, it must be urgently, because they pay 25 to 28 bucks for lockouts. You are never gonna get ahead like that, because even if you're just doing roadside services, it's gonna cost you about $300 to $500 a month just for insurance. So that means that if you got 4 of those a day, and remember, we live in a new age, not everybody locks keys in the car. People sometimes have spare keys, or they got a family member who has a spare key, or some cars are just done over the phone. You call up the manufacturer, give them the VIN number, and boom, they can unlock it remotely. So you're getting far few and in between calls for that type of service. And you would need, at that point, it said $25. You got 25 times 4 is 100. So that means you need 12 calls just to make up the money that it's gonna cost you just to pay insurance. And that's if your insurance is that cheap. Not including maintenance, not including gas or anything else. Motor clubs are not your friend. Number 6 in the final, I told y'all if y'all stayed put, I was gonna hook y'all up with one more of these. Number 6, if you go into the business without debt, you're more likely to succeed. Now, I don't have any statistics on this whole thing, but like I say, we're gonna look at the whole thing with this global illness. You know, if I didn't have anything put beside me, I would have been underwater right now. I would have literally been up the creek, or at least the truck would have been parked. So that initial investment between the truck, between the insurance and everything else would have been completely wasted, completely out the door. If I was having to make a payment, even right now, it's still, after this whole thing is over, it's still hard to get to the amount that I was making beforehand. So the struggle is still real. But if I was having to make a monthly payment on top of all that, man, I'd be so far underwater that I would literally have to just shut the whole thing down right now. So number 6 tip, if you can go into it without having debt, you're gonna be a lot better off as far as making it, or having an opportunity for the chance for survivability in the long run. So I thank you guys for watching, man. Please stay tuned. Like I say, like the video if you found any type of use out of this. Share the video with somebody who needs to hear this, whether they're trying to get into the towing game, trying to get into the mechanic game, because realistically, this kind of goes into all genres of business that are high risk according to insurance companies. Hot shot in trucking, towing, mechanic services, etc. So I thank you guys for watching. Visit me at Seasallauto.com if you got any questions or concerns, or want to learn how to grow your business to where you can go out and buy trucks as well. I think that's it. Please leave me a comment down below if you found any value out of this. What do you drive? Are you a towing company? Are you looking into getting into towing? Let me know in the comments down below. And I think that's gonna be it. So, like I always say, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, like, share, and subscribe. And always be pro mundo beneficio. Siempre. Peace.